and welcome to the 5th episode of the Writing Novelties. If you're new here, my name is Hannah Grace Fletcher, and I'm an aspiring author currently working on my very first novel project, Project AOS, or, as you all now know, Project Ace of Spades. Project AOS is a young adult religious fantasy / science fiction novel, and in the Writing Novelties we have been going through my whole editing process basically for the winter season. And if you've been keeping track with the dates and know when winter ends on March 20th, Thursday, you know that I have less than 2 weeks for my original goal of finishing editing. Now, I've talked about this before. That is not happening. I am not finishing editing. I am nowhere even close. Based off the original manuscript, I am still quite literally on chapter 2 out of 24 chapters. It is in the new manuscript, I'm on chapters 4 and 5, but because I changed things around, added stuff, split stuff up, I am even further away from finishing this book than it's just not humanly possible. And on top of that, I wanted to talk to you guys a bit about kind of what my brain process has been in the past few weeks. It's been very difficult to edit this book, and I think going into this process and knowing the way that I drafted but not knowing the way that I edited meant that it's taken a lot longer than I would have preferred to edit this book. And the way that I draft best is I like to have an outline. I like to know what's happening, like the big plot points. But besides that, I'm very much a headlights writer. I like to be able to plan out like what happens in those plot points, if that makes sense. Like, I know the big idea and where they're going to be. It's like if you're writing a journey book, you know all the places they have to go. Do you know what they're necessarily going to face in those places? That's the part that I like about drafting, is I get to come up with that stuff on the fly. And I thought using that same system of kind of planning my book would be okay for editing, and I thought that would be the best way for me to work. And considering that, and considering the fact that I'd already spent 3 months world building and researching for this book after I finished draft 1, sorry about the dogs, considering that fact, I went into this kind of not actually editing my entire manuscript or like planning out what my edits were going to be. So what I've been doing is I've been going into each individual chapter and I've been reading it before I edit it, and then I've been editing it. And while that could work for some people, it doesn't necessarily work well for me. I've realized, because I can't tell whether I'm changing the book or whether I'm making it better. I know that it's getting better. I know that. I know that the changes I made have made it a lot more, it's given it a lot more depth character-wise and given the reader much more information. And I think that it's going well, but at the same time, I know the edits in my head. Have I planned them out? Do I know how many chapters I'm gonna have? Do I know what's actually gonna happen at those changes in plot points? No, because I'm treating this like drafting, and I think that that's my problem. So, with less than 2 weeks left in this challenge of the winter edition of the Writing Novelties, I think that I'm going to be changing my process. So I think that my goal, considering that I don't have a lot of time left, it's hard to focus on this project with school and work and everything else in my life, I really just want to be able to get to a point where I have the entire book plotted by the end of winter. So basically, instead of doing the way that I've previously been doing it, I want to read through the entire book and I want to make little edits. And then I believe it was a Sarah LeBrat video that I watched, but I'm gonna correct myself if I'm wrong, about how to edit, and I want to watch more videos on how to edit. And I really want to replot my book. I want to be very specific about what's happening where. I really want to be a plancer in drafting, a plotter in revision. I want to know what is happening, and I want to know what I need to do to make this book better. This also ties into character arcs. A big issue that I found in my old manuscript is that there wasn't a very gradual transition, specifically in character relationships. Of course, it was a little bit there, but it was hard to be consistent when you're working on a project for such a long period of time to kind of, you know, speed stuff up at certain places, slow stuff down in other places, when it really should be, you know, a different way, if that makes sense. And originally, when I finished draft 2, I was going to go back in and there were going to be things that I added, like little seeds leading up to certain things, because I knew that those different arcs, that wasn't something that I was just going to be able to do with how I was editing. And I think this method of actually reading through the entire book, writing down what I like, writing down what I don't like, writing down what I need to change, replotting the entire book actually on a document rather than just saying willy-nilly in my brain, yeah, I think that that's gonna happen later. I think that that's actually going to be more beneficial to my project and actually give me more confidence in what I'm doing and actually help me feel more comfortable with the edits I'm making and feel like I'm making progress, because I'll be able to see how far I am. Because at this point, I don't have the chapters plotted out. I've just been adding chapters where I felt necessary to add chapters, but I have no idea how long this book is going to be. Like, I don't even know how the different chapters are going to be formatted. I haven't done this work that a lot of people do before they revise, that I should have done before I revised, but I was way too eager to get into the process. So, in this video, episode 5 of the Writing Novelties, we are going back to the drawing board, and I'm not going to be negative about that. I'm actually very excited about it because I have been feeling very down about this project. Not that I don't love it. I love this project so much, but I can see how far I am away. And the fact that I have this deadline that I'm nowhere close to meeting makes it all the more difficult for me to feel good about myself in this whole process. But anyway, we are going to be starting from the beginning, going through the entire book in this video and writing down the things that I want to change. And then after that, and this should be by the first day, by the first day of spring, we will be starting edits again.
Lighten up, take me on your magic.
I need to show you something because I'm literally balancing my camera on Clorox and my mushroom TBR jar. Watch this. I love having an adjustable chair. Anyway, it's safe to say that this vlog has literally been all over the place. I don't know what I filmed. I don't know when I filmed. I don't think I filmed at all on Sunday. It is now Monday. My brain has been all over the place. I keep thinking of things to say to the vlog, and then I speak them out loud like I'm talking to you guys without the camera on to like process my thoughts. And then I don't tell you guys. I just ignore whatever I was talking about to myself, because I think YouTube has just reinforced the fact that I have free will and that I can talk to myself whenever I want. But regardless, I haven't done anything writing wise, but I have some very exciting news. I think the announcement will come up before this, but I will be hosting a stream with Belle Brooke and Jess Writes a Book here on YouTube. Fun fact, I'm very excited. I've never done a stream before, so I've been having to figure out all this stuff with like StreamYard and talking to them and meeting them and getting to know them. And so that has been an absolute joy, and I'm very excited, but I'm also extremely nervous. So that's not going to be until next week. So if you guys are seeing this, I really hope that you're able to come to the stream. But anyway, it's been so difficult because I have a job now, and I didn't have a job when I started this series, and I have school, and then I have church things with planning out worship services and stuff, and then I have other activities, and then I have homework, and writing tends to be the last thing that I'm able to get to right now, which makes me really, really sad. But because I love my characters so much, I know I talk about this all the time, and I'm so glad I got to talk about them in my last video, not last video, celebrating my book anniversary video, because I just care about them so much, and I care about the story, but there's so many different ideas circulating through my brain of like changes I need to make and possible avenues, and I'm just trying not to get overwhelmed with it. And then, like I've said before, I've been having some writing insecurity and just feeling like it isn't good enough. So I just want to say thank you, because all the comments that I've gotten on my celebrating my book anniversary video about the excerpts have been so kind. I literally read them and I almost cried, because the fact that there are people out there that appreciate my writing is beyond to me, because I know that there are so many issues with it and I can see the issues, but I also am very proud of it, and I'm glad that there's like that reaffirmation there, because I kind of just decided to be a writer. No one, of course people tell me like, your writing is good, but it was never like, your writing is good enough to write a book, I've read your book, it's good, I can affirm this, like this is going to be successful for you. Obviously that's not something you're going to get that early on in writing, but it's kind of reaffirming to kind of think to myself that me deciding to be a writer was not a stupid decision, that I'm actually good at this, that I can actually write, that it's not just something I enjoy, but that it's something that other people are actually going to enjoy reading. But it's just a lot. And then the morning writing routine that I came up with in my writing video, completely out of the window. I know you guys can hear the notifications. That's how my brain feels right now. But yeah, because we're trying to plan the stream, and I don't know how to use StreamYard. I've never done this before. Excited beyond everything, but also kind of overwhelming. And then I need to go somewhere tonight. I was busy all day yesterday. This vlog isn't really going the way I wanted to. I don't know what clips I have. They're so random. So this is probably going to be the most random vlog I've ever made. And I know some people talk about on here, especially people that make aesthetic content, they often say that they'll just like delete footage if they don't feel proud of it. And honestly, if I were to have that mindset, I would probably delete a lot of the things I have, and then I would have no content. So at the end of the day, for me personally, I just have to post the dang video, even if it's not the best thing I've made, because it's something. And at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if I post the most like aesthetic video in the world. I need to have a bunch of content for you guys to be able to get more people on the channel and to have more people follow me and all this stuff. And like, I'm proud of the content I make. I work really hard on it and I try to make it good, and I spend a lot of time doing it. But at the end of the day, I'm gonna post the video. So this video is gonna be the most random thing I've made. And also what makes me feel kind of good about it is my favorite AuthorTuber to watch right now, and for a while was the only person I could watch, because I'd gotten to the point where I felt bad about myself, because I would watch really aesthetic vlogs and I'd be like, this looks so perfect and pretty, and they're saying all the right things in the right order, and this feels like a movie. And mine don't always feel like that. I mean, you can tell I try to make them aesthetic, but I'm not perfect. And with Sarah's videos, she literally just picks up, Sarah Sutton's videos, she literally just picks up her camera and films and posts it. And I love her content because it just makes me feel so positive, and it makes me feel like I have a friend, if that makes sense. Like, I know I don't know you in real life, Sarah, if you're watching this, but like, your content is just so welcoming, if that makes sense. And this is not a knock on AuthorTubers that make their videos aesthetic, because I think they're absolutely gorgeous and I love them and I love watching them. But it gets to the comparison point where you kind of look at someone else's life and you're like, this is perfect. Even if they're talking about how things are perfect, it looks perfect aesthetically. and the filming is just so beautiful and so great and put together, and then I look at mine and I'm like, this doesn't even stand the chance. Sometimes I'm watching a YouTube video and I just have to click off because I can't. I can't do it because it just makes me feel so bad about myself. And I hate that that's what YouTube has become kind of for me. So I'm trying to like reroute myself and just stay on it and be like, you're watching this for fun. This is not a comparison game. We're literally all out here doing the same thing. And most of us, YouTube is just for fun. Like, we are writers first and foremost, and this is just for fun, and people are having a good time, and everyone does this content differently, and everybody has certain things about themselves that make people want to watch their videos, and it's not all about the shots and everything. So, yeah, I just blabbed to you guys. I don't know what this vlog is. I don't know what we're doing. I haven't even written. I'm trying to make a thumbnail right now for the live stream, so I'm very excited. And just trying to chill out. I didn't realize how stressed I was, so I just unloaded all that on you. I'm so sorry for trauma dumping. Not trauma, that's dramatic. I'm so sorry for oversharing how it's been the past few days. But anyway, same thing stands. I will be going through the entire book, reading it, editing it, taking notes, trying to edit my book, figure out what I want to change, what I don't want to change. And I have been watching videos about zero drafts recently. And I don't know if I'm going to do this yet, but I think it wouldn't be a bad idea to like make like a draft 1.5, if that makes sense. Like a very detailed outline of what's going to happen before I write draft 2. Maybe that's what I need to do, but all I know is that I need a plot. I need to write this stuff down, and I need to know exactly what I'm doing to the T, or I will get overwhelmed and I will feel lost. And it also provides me just like a playground to just do whatever the heck I want and to figure things out before putting them on the page and realizing I messed it up and I need to fix it in draft 3. And I don't know, I don't want to have so many drafts of this book. I couldn't do it. I want to have 4 at most. I will work on this book as long as it needs to be worked on. If I need to do 10 drafts, I'll do 10 drafts. Just like everyone who's done 10 drafts, or what I would assume is that they would prefer if they didn't have to do that many. So, safe to say, I'm tired. I want to sleep. I'm very busy. But I really want to write. I really want to figure all this out, but I feel like the time that I have in the day, like an hour of free time, I know in an earlier vlog I was talking about I want to find pockets of time. It doesn't matter how long it is. It matters how long it is. I need time to be able to get my brain in the right mindset to do this thing. And maybe I'm just being dramatic. I am a dramatic person. This vlog is so chaotic. That's going to be my title for this thumbnail. It's either going to be a random vlog with stars or a chaotic vlog with stars. Because we love consistency on this app. That's all I have to say. I would literally be the person to get in a car accident because they're vlogging. Like, that would literally be me. Oh my gosh, son. But I don't think that I explained what I said earlier very well. I think it just comes into like me feeling always one step behind everyone else. I put so much work into a video and I put everything I am into it and I try to make it the most pretty video ever. And then instantly I see someone else who I know did a much better job than me. And I've always felt one step behind everyone else. And I don't want to cry. Come on, Hannah. It's just hard. And I don't want YouTube to be this comparison thing for me, because when I first started it wasn't. It was one of the few social media things where I wasn't comparing myself to everybody else. enjoy where I'm at. Because I know I have years and years and years to write this book. And I want to live and enjoy the experiences that I have now. I want to go out with my friends because I'm not always going to live here. I'm not always going to be in college. I'm not going to always have all of these opportunities. And I'm trying to take advantage of those, but that means putting some other things on the wayside. And I care so deeply about this project and about this book. And about this channel and about all of you guys. And I just don't want to be one step behind everybody else. I want to accomplish the things that I want to accomplish. And I've always been an overachiever, and I think that's part of the problem. I don't know what else I was gonna say. Literally all of my clips are going to be me driving, but I really just wanted to update you guys on what's going on. It is now Tuesday, and I almost just want to start this vlog over because it's just gone. Filming and writing, I haven't made it much progress since Saturday when I started the video. And I think I'm feeling a lot better about it now, but I also think that this channel's gonna change a bit because I don't want to keep feeling bad about the things that I do. And I don't want to also make other people feel bad and make others feel like they have to compare themselves to me when I'm comparing myself to somebody else. And I think I'm just going to try to be a lot more chill about clips and stuff. If I want to film like an aesthetic shot, I'll film the aesthetic shot. I love aesthetic clips and I like taking them. But at the same time, I'm not going to go out of my way to like brainstorm like, oh, what's a good aesthetic opening to this video? I kind of just want to be more loose about it, if that makes sense. Just be more chill and not worry about these things too much. Because first and foremost, I'm a writer, and I think that in my brain, I've forgotten that. I think I've kind of replaced that with YouTube and social media, because that's a lot of what consumes my thoughts. Because it's very easy to get caught up in the social media trap, because you get a lot of instant gratification with people liking your videos and leaving comments and actually getting feedback for what you do. But then with writing, there are people cheering you on, but a lot of those people don't really understand what you're doing and the extent of what you're doing unless they're writers themselves. And also, writing itself is a very solitary thing. It's very much dependent on you trusting yourself, not on how other people react to you. And I don't want to continue to fall into that social media trap, because it's very easy. It's honestly really addicting, because I want that gratification. And so it's easy to put all of my focus in that, which is bad, because I need to be focusing on school right now. I need to be focusing on work right now. I need to be focusing on church right now. There are other things in my life that define me, and I need to put my identity in other things. I need to put my identity in Christ. I don't need to put my identity in the things that I do, even though that I'm very much a doer. I'm very much a person who's like, well, what can I do next? Like, is there anything more I can do? And I don't think that that's very healthy, and it's also not very true for who I am as a person. So I think from this point on, I'm going to continue this vlog. The next clip you'll probably see will probably be an aesthetic clip, because I have an idea of what I want it to be. But, so I don't want to sound like a hypocrite, like immediately flip from this to like an aesthetic shot. Know that I still will be doing aesthetic shots, but I'm not going to be a try-hard about it. And not to say that anyone else on here is. I think if you find joy in taking aesthetic shots of things and making things very beautiful and you feel proud of that, that is awesome and that is something you should do. But if it gets to the point where you start comparing yourself to other people, I think that's the point where you just need to look back and be like, because I know at least on AuthorTube, unless you're doing YouTube full time, we aren't YouTubers. We're just YouTubing the things that we do that we actually care about. And not to say we don't care about YouTube. That's not what I'm trying to say. I'm just trying to say that there are other more important things going on in our lives and the world right now than YouTube. And I think YouTube's great. I love YouTube and I'm gonna keep doing YouTube. But I'm going to be more lax on myself and more forgiving and kind of just do what I want to do, because this is supposed to be fun. And when it gets to the point where it's no longer fun anymore, and I think it's hilarious that in my celebrating my book anniversary video, somebody asked me how I deal with being a small YouTuber, AuthorTuber, and I said, you just gotta have fun. You just gotta do this for fun and not for the praise that you get or like the instant gratification that you get with social media. And I love how this is immediately the switch up. But yeah, I think I'm gonna try to be more lax about it on this channel. And I think later today I'm actually going to have some writing time, and I'm just going to have the most chilled day I possibly can, because there's a lot of stress going on right now, and I'm not gonna let myself make the things that I find fun stressful too. So yeah, we're gonna have a good Tuesday. We're not gonna be stressed.
I wanna hear about everything you're ever thinking.
Hello everybody, where are we? Once again, in my car. I am in a much better mood. I had a really good day at work today. I got a lot of stuff copy edited. I think I went through like 3 different documents, and it was very, like, I just locked in on work and I got a lot done. And I didn't even listen to music or anything. I just sat there and I got the work done. And it felt very nice to have like accomplished something. And I went to class. This morning started out really bad. I was running late to class. Parking was terrible. Traffic was terrible. And I was like, this is just falling apart. Like, I haven't had time to write. I've spent all my time working. Doing schoolwork, stuff like that. I haven't gotten as much sleep as I personally need as a person. I need a good amount of sleep or my brain goes completely off the rails. But after that, you know what? I was just like, you know what? This day, I can't let all of these external things determine the way I feel. And I need to put my faith in God and trust that everything's gonna work out the way that it's gonna work out, that everything's gonna be okay. And all of this stuff is temporary. It's fine. We're going to be okay. And after that point, even though it looked very dark in the moment, and I've been all over the place with this vlog, and I also think it's because I've just spent so much time on like my computer or my phone with social media that can make anxiety and depression kind of increased. So I'm feeling a lot better, and honestly I feel a lot more revitalized. I feel ready to tackle this book. I feel ready to start writing, start editing, start reviewing and going through the book and laying out the plot. I feel very excited to get to this project rather than anxious about it. I feel very happy because I love this book so much, and I love these characters, and I love the story they tell and the lives that they paint and the way that it all ends up. And I'm just really, you know what, I just feel so proud of this project. And I know that I haven't done it through my own means. Like, God has definitely been a big part of this book, and I don't even know how this idea came to me. And it's just, I just love this book so much, and especially with my work as a copy editor, I can sit there and I edit documents all day long. So why can't I kind of give myself a little bit of separation? Obviously keep a lot of the love that I have for the book, but allow myself that space between, like, hey, I'm just suggesting edits to myself. Like, I'm just helping myself out a little bit. I'm not trying to tear myself apart. Like, I'm literally just making this better, and there's small changes, and just because I didn't notice these things before does not make me a bad writer, does not make me unqualified. It's just the fact that I've been staring at this document for so long, and when you stare at a document for so long, sometimes you just need fresh eyes. And obviously as an author, I'm never going to be able to get that feeling. But if I can create this space, but also treasure the book at the same time, I think I'll be able to get there. But tonight, my school's library is having a writing blitz, and it's for writing paper specifically. It's like a writing paper marathon, but I've never gone to any of these. I've always wanted to, but I really, really want. What I've taken from it is that it's basically what you need it to be. Like, they market it as writing papers because that's applicable to every college student out there, especially with midterms. But I think it can really be whatever you want to write. And I really want to try to go and edit a bit, or just kind of plot out some ideas. I know that I need to write out the original plot and then write out the new plot. But I want to do it in a lot of detail, if that makes sense, at least for the new plot. Like a zero draft, a little bit, maybe like a, what would that be? Like half of a zero? I don't know, a zero draft but shorter, like a very detailed outline of what I want draft 2 to look like for this book. Because I have been so caught up in the writing of it and the line edits that there are big developmental changes that I haven't even gotten to yet. I've been spending a lot of time on things that I don't, quite frankly, need to be spending this much time on. I need to do these developmental edits. This is what's important. I just need to get the book in the form that it's going to be in plot-wise by the end of draft 2, and I can worry about making it pretty later. I don't need to worry about that now. But if I don't end up going to the writing blitz, we'll come back home and I will write there. It just depends how I feel. And I commute to school, so I live like further away. So sometimes I kind of just want to get home and I want to be in my comfy clothes. I put comfy clothes on to go to church to help with worship and stuff. But yeah, I wanted to give you guys another clip of me talking, being a bit more positive, because I feel really bad about being so negative and being really down in this vlog, because I don't want you to feel down about your projects or yourselves or your story, but I also wanted to include it in there so you guys can kind of get a glimpse of the ups and downs of being a writer and what it's like. And maybe even if just one of you relates to something I said, it'll be worth it. But I'm not trying to be a downer or be annoying or just like be a depressed idiot or whatever. A depressed idiot? Excuse me. Anyway, I want to be uplifting on this channel. I want to help you guys and encourage you guys on this journey. And I don't want to be a downer, but I also want to be someone who can be there and be someone that you feel related to when you are having those down times. But anyway, I am going to go to church. We're gonna do worship, and then we are going to get to writing. I think that I have to do a bit of homework tonight, but I'm going to try my hardest. Every time you guys hear me say I have a little bit of homework, I think you guys know what's gonna happen. I think that's like a little clue in to the fact that, like, hey, actually I may not have time to write, but you know what? We're planning to. Anyway, I'll see you guys later. Love you guys. Okay, y'all, here's the question. Do I go to the writing blitz or do I go home? Because if I just went to the writing blitz, it would probably take longer, like more time traveling to get there, and then after that going home, than me just going home. So I have more time to do actual things if I just went home. But if I went, I could be social, and maybe I see people I know. But maybe I won't even see anybody that I know, and it might not even be worth it. Does it matter if I see people that I know? Not really, but kind of, because I am not good at talking to new people. Also, I came up with a new car phone angle. Honestly, I like it a lot more than the old one, so if there's any good thing that has happened from me filming all these car talks, it's this. Isn't this like the cutest angle ever? My phone's probably gonna fall down though because there's nothing holding it up. It's sitting in between. Oh, instantly falls. It's sitting in between. You see that? That's what you don't do. Ignore the loud noise that you just heard. I just hit a curb. Anyway, I think that's my sign to stop filming in the car. I'll keep you updated on whether I go home or not. Hey everybody, so I ended up going to the writing blitz. It wasn't really anything special. It was just me sitting in a room with my laptop, and not actually a lot of people were there, or at least in the room I was in. And I found out it was more so for like people getting help on their papers. But you know what? It's okay. It was still productive. I ended up starting off just doing a bit of homework, and then I switched gears. My school's magazine, Literary and Arts Magazine, has a submission due very soon, and I've been trying to like write some short stories and poems. I say trying to, but I literally just started, which is really bad because I kind of hate the idea of like writing poems and short stories for a submission. It more so should be like writing it for yourself and then submitting it, but like I like to submit something whenever a new one comes around, just in case. I've only submitted in 2 so far, and both got stuff accepted, which is really, really cool. So if you ever want to read my work, let me know, and I can send you the link or something. But I wrote a little short story. It's very interesting. It was about dreams. I'm not really proud of it yet. The thing with this submission is that if you submit prose, it needs to be 1 page, and it's really difficult to write a short story, especially like a fiction one that's not reality, in 1 page. So it's definitely finicky with me having to work around the amount of space I have to be able to make the story feel complete and whole. And also, if it does feel incomplete, to really utilize that incompleteness to generate a certain feeling or to kind of express a certain theme for the audience. Sorry. But, yeah, I thought it was still very eventful. I know that as the 5th episode of the Writing Novelties, this video has been a bit disappointing. It's been disappointing for me too, honestly. But I've just been so busy, and some of it, I don't want to make excuses, but at the same time, I'm doing everything I possibly can. And if you're struggling to sit down and find time for you to write your story right now, know that that's okay. And know that you shouldn't blame yourself or feel bad about that. And that know that you can always come back to the story when you have the time, when you're ready. No matter how long it's been, you can still go back to it, and it's okay. Because right now, I go weeks in between having time to do anything for this story, and it's really, really sad because I love writing, but also I think a part of it is the fact that I'm not writing right now. It's an editing story, so it takes more willpower, if that makes sense. It's not so much like writing when it would be more like, oh, I can do like whatever, la-di-da-di-da, like I'm just going to write and have fun with it. There is fun to it, and I find it fun, but there's also a very technical element to it that you have to really think about what you're doing, and it has to be very intentional. So anyway, I am running out of days For this video, I think this is the longest amount of days I've devoted to a Writing Novelties video and the least amount I've ever got done in a Writing Novelties video. But tomorrow, because I am trying to get poetry and short stories gathered up for my submission to the literary magazine that's due on Friday, I really need to spend tomorrow focusing on that. And for you guys who voted on the poll, you guys voted for me to write a short story from start to finish. So I think that could be a way of killing two birds with one stone. I can make a video about how to format kind of a certain submission and also write those things for that submission. So I think that'd be really cool. So because I'll be starting a new video tomorrow, I think I'm actually gonna end this one here. But yeah, I just want to let you guys know that not every day is going to be a good day. Not every week's going to be a good week. Not every month's going to be a good month. Especially for those of you who are students and those of you who have families and those of you who have dependents that you have to take care of and children and have a lot of work that you have to do and figure out on your plate. It can be very difficult and almost seem very indulgent to have the opportunity to write, and that's not always something that you're going to have. And when you look at people with really high word counts and people who are being really successful and are pushing out a lot of things, you cannot compare yourself to them. You cannot think that you're less of a writer because you're not generating as much stuff as quickly as those people. You have to look at who you are and the time that you have and just be happy that you're even committing time to something like this. As someone who is as busy as you are and has as much stuff to do as you do, you are still making the choice to put those last bits and pieces of your soul that you have, those momentary moments of time that you have left to a story. And I think that that is truly and really special. And if you're working on a timeline and that's gone out the window just like it has done with mine, I really want you to know that it's okay if you don't finish in time. Most of the time people don't. What you're doing is extremely, extremely difficult. There's a reason that not many people finish writing a book. There's a reason not many people publish those books if you're editing, because editing is hard. It's hard to write a book in itself, and it's even harder to be able to edit that book. And I just want you to be very kind to yourself throughout this entire process. It's funny to me because if you look at the Writing Novelties episodes in this time frame, I think I'm currently in the dark night of the soul. Like, this is the lull before the final push, the final go-ahead. But speaking of which, the next Writing Novelties video will be the last Writing Novelties video of this season, I think, unless I have more time and end up filming 2 videos next week, which has potential. Next week I will actually be on spring break, so I won't have school. So I will have many, many hours to devote to writing. And while there is not a chance that I'm going to finish draft 2 in that time frame, I think that I will be able to at least prep myself for I don't want to say starting over because I put a lot of work into this project, but looking at draft 2 from a different angle and actually planning out what things I want to change. And I feel like once I have that actual plan, things are going to go a lot quicker. And then once school's over in May, I'm going to have even more time. So I have, you and all of us who are in school just have to have a very open mind as for time frames. Because me finishing this project during school last semester was an anomaly for me. There's a reason I started writing Project AOS in February, but then didn't have much time to write much else, didn't have time to work on any other books. It's because school takes up a lot of time. Life takes up a lot of time. And it's okay. And you need to be kind to yourself. And it's gonna be fine. You have years to be a writer. You only have a few to be a student. You have years to be a writer. I don't know if I'm telling this to you or myself, probably both, but we are going to finish these projects together. It doesn't matter when, we are going to finish them, and that is what matters. But anyway, as always, this is your reminder that you can write that book. And if you watched this in the end of this video, please comment down below what your progress has looked like in the past few months, especially if you're a student and you want to talk about your struggles with writing. I would love to chat with you. Comment down below if you're reading anything fun right now, or if you want to just chat about the project that you're writing right now. I would love to talk to you about that. And if you made it to the end of this video, leave the heart hands emoji, because we all need a little bit more love right now. We all need a little bit more joy in this world, and I'm so glad that you watched to the end of this video. I apologize if it was a bit disappointing, but we have written. It wasn't towards the project, but we have written, and it was fun, and it was truly a joy, and it's those little things to make life really special. But anyway, I will see you guys in the next Writing Novelties episode, or the next video that I post. And yeah, this is your reminder that you can write that book. Bye.
I never really know